So Stable Diffusion is like the first like generative image model, AI model. And I started playing with it. Like you could install it on your Mac. Like somebody forked it and made it work for MacBooks. So I downloaded it and cloned the repo and started using it to generate images. And it was like amazing. Like I found it on Twitter because you see things happen on Twitter, and I would post what I was making on Twitter as well. And you could make any image. You could write a prompt. So essentially, write a prompt, and then it generates a photo of that or image of that in any style. Like they would use like artist names to make like a Picasso kind of style and stuff. And I was trying to see like what is it good at? Is it good at people? No, it's really bad at people. But it was good at houses. So architecture, for example, I would generate like architecture houses. So I made a website called thishousedoesnotexist.org. And it generated like, they called it like house porn. Yeah, that one. Like house porn is like a subreddit. So, and this was Stable Diffusion, like the first version. So it looks really, you can click for another photo. So it generates like all these kind of non-existing houses.
It is house porn.
But it looked kind of good, you know? Like, especially back then. Like
it looks really good.
Now things look much better.
It's really, really well done. Wow.
And it also generates like a description.
And you can upvote. Is it nice? Yeah. Upvote it.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much to talk to you about. Like the choices here. It's really well done.
This was very scrappy. In the bottom, there's like a ranking of the most upvoted houses. So these are the top voted. And if you go to all time, you see quite beautiful ones. Yeah. So this one is my favorite. The number one. It's like kind of like a...
How is this not more popular?
It was really popular for like a while, but then people got so bored of it. I think because I was getting bored of it too. Like just continuous house porn. Like everything starts looking the same. But then I saw it was really good at interior. So I pivoted to interiorAI.com where I tried to like upload first generate interior designs. And then I tried to do like, there was a new technology called image to image where you can input an image like a photo and it would kind of modify the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you see it looks almost the same as photo. It's the same code essentially.
Nice.
So I would upload a photo of my interior where I lived and I would ask like change this into like I don't know, like maximalist design, you know. And it worked really well. So I was like, okay, this is a startup because obviously interior design, AI, and nobody was doing that yet. So I launched this and it was successful and made like within a week made 10K, 20K a month. And now still makes like 40K, 50K a month. And it's been like 2 years. So then I was like, how can I improve this interior design? I need to start learning fine-tuning. And fine-tuning is where you have this existing AI model and you fine-tune it on a specific goal you want it to do. So I would find really beautiful interior design, make a gallery, and train a new model that was very good at interior design. And it worked, and I used that as well. And then for fun, I uploaded photos of myself. And here's where it happened. And to train myself, like, and this would never work, obviously. And it worked. And actually, it started understanding me as a concept. Mm-hmm. So my face worked, and you could do like different styles, like me as a, like very cheesy, medieval warrior, all this stuff. So I was like, this is another startup. So now I did avatarai.me. I couldn't get the .com. And this was, avatarai.me. Well, now it forwards to PhotoAI because it pivoted.
Got it.
But this was more like cheesy thing. So this is very interesting because this went so viral. It made like, I think like 150K in a week or something. Mm-hmm. It's the most money I ever made. And then this is very interesting. The big VC companies like Lensa, which are much better at iOS and stuff than me. I didn't have iOS app. They quickly built an iOS app that does the same, and they found technology. And it's all open technology, so it's good. And I think they made like $30 million with it.
Yeah.
They became like the top grossing app after that. And it was.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's amazing, honestly. And it's not like
you didn't have like a feeling like, fuck.
No, I was a little bit like sad because all my products would work out, and I never had like real fierce competition. And now I have like fierce competition from like a very skilled, high talent like iOS developer studio or something that. And they already had an app. They had an app in the App Store for like I think retouching your face or something. So they were very smart. They add these avatars to there. It's a feature. They had the users. They do a push notification to everybody who have these avatars.
Yeah.
Man, they made so much money, and I think they did a really great job. And I also made a lot of money with it. But I quickly realized it wasn't my thing because it was so cheesy. It was like kitsch, you know.
Mhm.
It's kind of like me as a Barbie or me as a, you know, it was too
Yeah.
cheesy. I wanted to go for like, what's a real problem we can solve? Because this is going to be a hype. This is going to be, and it was a hype, these avatars. It's like, let's do real photography. Like, how can you make people look really photorealistic? And it was difficult. And that's why these avatars worked, because they were all like in a cheesy, you know, Picasso style. And art is easy because you interpret the all the problems that AI has with your face are like artistic, you know, if you call it Picasso. But if you make a real photo, all the problems with your face, like it just, you look wrong, you know?
Mhm.
So I started making photo AI, which was like a pivot of it, where it was like a photo studio, where you could take photos without actually needing a photographer, needing a studio. You don't just, you know, you just type it. And I've been working on it for like the last
Yeah,
year.
it's really incredible. That journey is really incredible. Let's go to the beginning of photo AI though, because I remember seeing a lot of really hilarious photos. I think you were using yourself as a case study, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? There's a tweet here. Sold $100,000 in AI generated avatars.
Yeah, and it's a lot. Like it's a lot for anybody. It's a lot for me. Like making 10K a day on this, you know?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And then the nested tweet, like that's the launch tweet. And then the before there is like the me hacking on it.
Oh, I see. So that okay. So October 26th, 2022.
Yeah.
I trained an ML model on my face.
So because my eyes are quite far apart, I learned when I did YouTube, I would put like a photo of like my DJ photo, you know, my mixture. And people would say I look like a hammerhead shark. It was like the top comment. So then I realized my eyes are far apart.
Yeah, the internet helps you
Yeah, it helps
figure
you
out
realize
what you look like.
how you look, you know?
Boy, do I
So
love the internet.
first trap.
Well, what is this? Wait.
And it's
This-
water from the waterfall. But
Is
the
this-
waterfall's in the back, you know? So what's going on?
So this is how much of this is real?
It's all AI.
It's all AI.
Yeah.
That's pretty good though for the early days.
Exactly. So, but this was hit or miss. So you had to do a lot of curation because 99% of it was really bad.
Mhm.
So these are the photos I uploaded.
How many photos did you use? Only these. I will try more up to date pics later. These are the only photos you
Yeah.
uploaded?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so like you were learning all this super quickly. What what are some like interesting details you remember from that time for like what you had to figure out to make it work? And for people just listening, he uploaded just a handful of photos that don't really have a good capture of the face, and he's able to already.
Well, I think it's cropped. It's like a crop by the layout, but they're square photos, so they're 512 by 512 because that's Stable Diffusion.
But nevertheless, not great capture of the face.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not like a collection of several hundred photos that is like
Exactly. Like I would
360
imagine
view.
that too when I started. I was like, oh, this must be like some 3D scan technology, right?
Yeah.
So I think the cool thing with AI, it trains the concept of you. So it's literally like learning, just like any AI model learns. It learns how you look. So I did this, and then I was getting I was getting DMs like Telegram messages, like, how can I do the same thing? I want these photos. My girlfriend wants these photos. So I was like, okay, this is obviously a business, but I didn't have time to code it, make a whole like app about it. So I made an HTML page, registered a domain name, and this was not even, it was a Stripe payment link, which means you have literally a link to Stripe to pay, but there's no code in the back. So all you know is you have customers that paid money. And then I added like a Typeform link. So Typeform is a site where you can create like your own input form, like Google Forms. So they would get an email with a link to the Typeform, or actually just a link after the checkout, and they could upload their photos. So enter their email, upload the photos, and I launched it. And I was like, here, first sale. So that's October 2022. And I think within like the first 24 hours was like, I'm not sure, it was like 1,000 customers or something. But the problem was I didn't have code to automate this, so I had to do manually. So the first few hundred, I just literally took their photos, trained them, and then I would generate the photos with the prompts, and I had this text file with the prompts, and I would do everything manually. And this quickly became way too much. So, but that's another constraint. Like I was forced to code something up that would do that, and that was essentially making it into a real website, right?
So at first it was the Typeform, and they uploaded through the Typeform
Stripe checkout
an image.
Typeform, yeah.
And then you were like, that image is downloaded. Did you write a script to export?
No,
like
I just
the image?
download the images myself. It was a
Okay.
zip file. To unzip the
Literally.
zip file.
And you unzipped it.
Yeah, unzip
one
it.
by
And yes, and then I'm because do things don't scale, Paul Graham says, right? So and then I would train it, and then I would email them the photos, I think from my personal email. Say, here's your avatars, and they liked it. They were like, wow, it's amazing.
You emailed them with your personal
'Cause
email.
I didn't have an email address on this domain.
And this is like 100 people.
Yeah, and then who signed up? Like, man, I cannot say, but really famous people, like really, really like billionaires, famous tech billionaires did it. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I was like so scared to mess them. So I said, thanks so much for using my site. And he's like, yeah, amazing app, great work. So it's like, this is different than normal reaction,
It's Bill Gates, isn't it?
Cannot say anything.
Just like shirtless pics.
GDPR, like privacy,
right,
European regulation.
Right.
Cannot share anything. But I was like, wow. And but this shows like, so you make something, and then if it takes off very fast, you're like, it's validated, you're like, here's something that people really want. But then also I thought, this is hype, this is gonna die down very fast, and it did, because it's too cheesy.
But you had to automate the whole thing. How'd you automate it? So like, what's the AI component? Like, how hard was that to figure out?
Okay, so that's actually in many ways the easiest thing, because there is all these platforms already back then. There was platforms for fine-tune Stable Diffusion. Like now I use Replicate. Back then I used different platforms, which was funny because that platform, when this thing took off, I would tweet, because I tweet always like how much money these websites make. And then so you call it vendor, right? The platform that did the GPUs, they increased their price for training from $3 to $20 after they saw that I was making so much money. So immediately my profit is gone because I was selling them for $30. And I was in a Slack with them, like saying, what is this? Like, can you just put it back to $3? They say, yeah, maybe in the future. We're looking at it right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you just took all my money, And they're smart.
Well, they're not that smart because like you also have a large platform and a lot of people respect you. So you can literally come out and say that.
But I think it's like kind of dirty to cancel a company or something. I prefer just bringing my business elsewhere. But there was no elsewhere back then.
Right.
So I started talking to other AI model ML platforms. So Replicate was on those platforms, and I started DMing the CEO, say, can you please create, like, it's called Dream Booth, this fine tuning of yourself. Can you add this to your site? Because I need this because I'm being price gouged. And he said, no, because it takes too long to run. It takes half an hour to run, and we don't have the GPUs for it. I said, please, please, please. And then after a week, they said, we're doing it. We're launching this. And then this company it was like not very famous company. It became very famous with this stuff because suddenly everybody was like, oh, we can build similar apps, like avatar apps, and everybody started building avatar apps, and everybody started using Replicate for it. And that was from these early DMs with like the CEO, like Ben Fursh, very nice guy. And he was like, they never price gouged me, they never treated me bad, they always been very nice. It's a very cool company. So you can run any ML model, any AI model, LLMs, you can run on here.
And you can scale.
Yes, they scale, yeah. And I mean, you can do now, you can click on the model and just run it already. It's like super easy. You log in with GitHub.
That's great.
And by running it on the website, then you can automate with the API. You can make a website that runs the model.
Generate images, generate text, generate video, generate music, generate
video,
speech,
like
fine-tune models.
They do anything, yeah. It's a very cool company.
Nice. And you're like growing with them essentially. They grew because of you because it's like a big use case.
Yeah, like the website even looks weird now. It started as like a machine learning platform. That was like, I didn't even understand what it did. It was just too ML, like you would understand because you're in the ML world. I wouldn't understand.
Now it's noob friendly.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know how it worked. And but I knew that they could probably do this. And they did it. They built the models, and now I use them for everything. And we trained like, I think now like 36,000 models, 36,000 people already.
So, but is there some tricks to fine tuning to like the collection of photos that are provided? Like how do you like?
Yes, man, there's so many hacks.
The hacks.
It's like 100 hacks to make it work.